This is Daniel Gumby Freeland for Sportskeeda MMA, and joining me today is Tom Aspinall, who fights Curtis Blaydes as the headliner of UFC London on July 23rd. So, Tom, I want to start right there. Headliner in London, the O2 Arena. What's it feel like growing up as a kid, seemingly in the shadow of the stadium? You now get to be a headliner in it.
Yeah, I mean, it would be rude not to come back after the last one, because the last one was unbelievable event. This one's going to be even bigger. Yeah, it's a big deal. Anytime that I think I have the same opinion as most other people from the UK. Like, if you fight in the O2, it's a big deal. Never mind to headline it in front of a sold out crowd twice. That's big stuff. Like, it's massive stuff, especially for someone like me who's been watching the UFC there so many times. I've been sat up in the nosebleed so many times, and now I'm in the main stage. So it's nice, good stuff.
And like you said, this is the second time doing it. Last time you put on an absolute show, and we're going to talk about the strategy behind that too. But like, what was the crowd feeling like to you, being that first time of being a headliner and putting on an absolute clinic too?
Oh, unbelievable. Like, I think I'll swim having a home crowd. There's only certain people can do it. You see a lot of fighters like crumble when they get a home crowd, but for some reason I'm the opposite. Like, I absolutely loved it. I just took it for what it was. I enjoyed every second. I just felt like it fueled me even more. I was super sharp. Like, I was extra sharp in there, and I was extra calm. Funny enough, I was like so calm in there. And I feel like, me personally, I operate in chaos situations really well. I don't know why that is. I think I'm just blessed in that situation. Like, I just operate in chaos really well, and that's what I did that night, and I'm planning on doing it again.
Yeah, we're gonna get to talking about that fight, but I want to ask you. You said you felt like you were sharp every single second of that fight. There weren't a lot of seconds of that fight, and I actually just saw a graphic. You're the fastest fighter in UFC history to win 5 times, faster than Ronda Rousey, faster than Anderson Silva. What is it like to be, like you said, you used to sit in the nosebleeds and watch fights. What is it like to be in the names of royalty like that?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. That's just like how I see myself, though. Do you know what I mean? I think when all's said and done with me in my career in years to come, like, I'm going to be seen like that, like we look at them guys now. That's how I'm going to be seen in 10 years, hopefully. So yeah, I don't see myself any different to them guys. But sometimes, it still is a little bit surreal. 2 years ago, I was absolutely dead broke. I had no money, and I was just like a kid with a dream, really. And now, like, it's all happened in the space of 2 years. So yeah, some days it's still a little bit surreal, and I still can't believe it a little bit. But now I feel like I'm really, like, getting my confidence, and I feel really comfortable, like, with everything. So I feel really good now.
And is that feeling of being surreal, is that mostly just in how quick it's happened? Because like we said, it's happened quick in the cage in terms of fight time, but it's happened really quick in terms of years too, right? Like, you're not in the UFC before the pandemic started, and now here you are being mentioned possibly for a title shot next.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that is to do with my division as well. Do you know what I mean? The division is not very deep, the heavyweight division. Like, a few good wins, and you're never too far away from, like, top 5, top 10 position. So, and I fought some good guys as well. I thought this is going to be my 3rd ranked guy that I'm fighting, and I think you're taking out ranked guys, you're finishing ranked guys, and they got to start taking you serious, man. Like, this is the biggest heavyweight division in the whole world. Like, us 30 or 40 guys, or however many guys in the UFC, like, we're the best in the world. So anytime you're taking out someone in the top 10, top 15, like, it's a big deal.
Absolutely. And you mentioned this is a shallow division, but it's really weird at the top right now, right? We've obviously got the champ, Francis Ngannou, who's kind of MIA at the moment, knee surgery, contract dispute. Do you feel like he's coming back to the UFC? Do you feel like he's still the guy to be here? Do you feel like, maybe he's boxing now, or maybe he's not somebody you ever are going to run into?
Do you want my honest opinion?
Yeah.
Don't really care at all. Like, I think Francis Ngannou is very dangerous, but, like, for me right now, I feel like he's way above me anyway. Like, I've got so much work to do before I get there. I don't really think about that. Like, if I've got to fight, like, I'm fighting Curtis Blaydes next week, for the last 10 weeks or however long that I've been training for this fight, I ain't thinking about nobody else. Like, everyone else basically on this planet is irrelevant to me apart from the guy I'm fighting. So that's all I'm thinking about for the last, however long I've been training for this fight. So I'm not really bothered about what anyone else is doing.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, then let's get right into Curtis Blaydes thing, because he is kind of an interesting question here, because, you know, you're a guy like Curtis Blaydes who loves to wrestle and has been a wrestler all his life. And people have kind of, you know, put the moniker on him that he's a boring wrestler. Comes out and absolutely knocks somebody silly with a big right hand last time out in Chris Dawkins, who's no slouch on the feet anyway. What did you kind of think of the development there of Curtis Blaydes, of getting to see his hands more and what they look like?
I think this is heavyweight MMA. And if anybody punches anybody clean on the chin, like they're going to sleep, like this is the nature of heavyweight MMA. But that's not taken away from Curtis. Like, he's a good striker. I'm not saying that he's not. He's mainly known for his wrestling, but his striking is definitely improved. So he's a threat everywhere. I've got to be ready for everything with this guy.
And we've obviously seen you become more of a threat, or at least show off that you're a threat in more positions in recent fights. You know, obviously we had the Andrei Arlovsky submission earlier in your career, but going out and doing what you did to Alexander Volkov, I think really woke a lot of people up to what your jiu-jitsu and what your wrestling looks like. Is that something that you think you're on the Curtis Blaydes level with, is wrestling? The guy's been wrestling his whole life. You're more of a well-rounded MMA guy, but do you feel like you're wrestling and you could take him down in this fight?
Oh, well, it's a good job we're not having a wrestling match, because it's a good job we're doing MMA, because he would definitely beat me at straight wrestling. But luckily, we're not doing wrestling. We're having an MMA fight, so I'm sure I'll be fine. I'm sure I'll be all right with him. There's a lot of stuff in my game that people have not even seen glimpses of, not even a tiny bit people have not seen yet. So let's see. We'll see next Saturday, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you about that too, is that, like, you know, you've spent so little time in the cage. Do you feel like it's an advantage that you haven't gotten to show everything? Or do you feel like, you know, like, you know, some people have said cage time is a really good teacher. Cage time is something where you learn about both yourself and your skill set. Do you feel like, you know, it's an advantage that you haven't shown it off, or a disadvantage?
Oh, it's definitely it's a bit of both. Like you say, I've not got the minutes in the cage, but at the same time, I've got another 10 years left in the sport, so there's definitely time to have minutes in the cage. But it's a massive advantage in the fact that now I'm fighting for a top 5 spot in the world, and people have no idea what I can do. People haven't got a clue. These guys in the heavyweight division, these reporters and these analysts and stuff, they think they know what they're looking at, and nobody's got any idea. Like, I've literally shown nothing of what I can do yet.
Well, I'm excited to see whatever that is. Now, you know, we're into fight week now. Like you said, you're a guy who feels like he deals with everything really well. He feels like he deals with the chaos well. What is this week and these last couple of weeks been like, as you're close to home? You don't have to travel for this one, but is it extra pressure from family? Is it extra pressure from friends? Have you just tried to isolate yourself? What's it been like for you?
If your family and friends are pressuring you, like, they don't know what, like, my family and friends know me very well. And if I go in there on Saturday and I get knocked out in 5 seconds, like, they're not going to care. Do you know what I mean? They're just going to want to know if I'm all right. So I'm very, very lucky to have those kind of people around me. Fans, yeah, like, obviously the English fans support their own. So I get a lot of support, but that's all like exterior stuff. I don't really think about that too much. You know what I mean? I just think about what I've got to do. And yeah, it's pretty obvious what I've got to do. I've got to go in there and win the fight. So all that other stuff, I just try not to think about it too much and just focus like at the task at hand, and that's it.
Absolutely. And the task at hand is Curtis Blaydes. I'm going to ask you for a prediction in just a second, but I do want to ask you, you know, a lot of people have been talking about fighters as entertainers lately. Obviously the Israel Adesanya fight, you know, he looked masterful in his performance, but at the same time, maybe didn't look all that fun to watch. You said yourself, you're fighting for a top 5 spot. Do you, as a headliner, feel pressure to feel more entertaining when you're in there, or is it just, you know, completely task at hand for you?
I'll tell you what I care about: winning. That's it. Couldn't care less about being entertaining or anything like that. I want to win. I'm a winner. So that's all I'm bothered about. It could be the most boring fight ever. We could punch each other. I could punch him twice and he could punch me once in 25 minutes, and I've won because I punched him twice. So I'm not really bothered.
Well, I'm not exactly rooting for that, but I am rooting for an exciting fight and hopefully for you to come out on top. So if that is the case, give me the prediction. How does this one end with Curtis Blaydes?
in all honesty, this is me being really honest with you. I'm not even trying to hype the fight at nothing. I don't even know. I can finish the fight from anywhere. Like, I have finishes, all different kinds of finishes from all different kinds of positions, with strikes, different strikes, kicks, knees, elbows, submissions off my back, submissions standing up, submissions on the top, on the bottom, all kinds of stuff that I've not shown yet. So wherever the opportunity is, I will finish the fight from anywhere. So just depends where the fight goes.
Well, we are absolutely looking forward to it. Now, before I let you go, I do always like to, give you a second to tell people where they can find you, shout out any sponsors, coaches, people who have been big for you this camp. The floor is yours, man.
Oh, you can just head over to my Instagram, because that's the only thing that I'm really on at the moment. I'm going to be on Twitter very soon, though, but my Instagram is Tom Aspinall Official, so you can find me over there.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Once again, fans, this has been Tom Aspinall, who fights Curtis Blaydes as the headliner UFC London on July 23rd. Thanks again, Tom.
Thank you.